I suppose I'm prejudiced, but for me, there's just no other place like the Merrimack Valley. Believe me, I know it well. I was born in this part of New England. I've spent most of my life around here in communities along the Merrimack River, towns like Haverhill and Lawrence. This river was once a busy commercial thoroughfare. Now it's more of a local playground, recreation spot. I've always felt there was something rather special about living in New England. You can choose the way you want to live and the place you want to live. But wherever you live, you'll always be close to our history. You'll sense the traditions handed down from the days of the Pilgrims. Our forefathers believed in God. They also believed in industry. They combined both beliefs to create a way of life. Here, industry can mix with the wonderful New England countryside to provide a happy combination for business and living. For me, every new day follows a comfortably familiar pattern. A check on the weather and time for a last-minute job around the house. The driver of our carpool also follows a regular pattern. He turns into our street at just about the same time each morning. Everyone is right on time. Everyone except my daughter, Laurie. She usually needs 2 more minutes. I guess that's one bit of the daily routine I ought to change. But I must admit, Laurie's never made us late yet, and she's been riding with us for more than a year now. It certainly doesn't seem like a year. But then it doesn't seem like 14 years that I've been with Western Electric. 14 years today. When I think of the changes I've seen around here during those years, families moving in, children growing up, and yet I don't feel any older compared to some of these places, that old house, for instance. I'm really a newcomer in these parts, even though I was born here. You might say my company was born in New England, too, because Alexander Graham Bell got his start in the Merrimack Valley. And we are part of the Bell telephone system. In 1943, Western Electric came to the valley, to Lawrence and Haverhill, to help meet the critical needs of World War II. This new plant was built to help satisfy the growing need for telephone service. I can remember when there was nothing here but an open field. It took a lot of effort to turn this field into a factory. Much of the work was done by neighbors and friends, people I grew up with right here in the valley. Even before the plant was finished, some departments started moving in. Seemed like a lot of space to fill, but we soon filled it. The complex telephone transmission equipment which we make here requires an enormous array of tools and machines, raw materials and parts, and people working together as effectively as the products they make. Finding the most efficient location for each department was like solving a gigantic jigsaw puzzle. Specially designed conveyors provided part of the solution. No matter how big or how small, any item can be easily transported to any department where it's needed. The pin's location in the tray is like an address on a package. The tray stays in storage until the parts it holds are needed in the manufacturing area. An automatic signal starts the tray along its preset route. Such complete flexibility enables us to manufacture a great variety of items as they are needed, with the economies of quantity production. The pin, the address on the package, turns the tray off with the proper spur. Even Laurie knows a lot more about telephone transmission now that she's working here, too. But when she was a little girl, she used to pester me with questions all the time. If I told her once, I told her 100 times how we can send more than one conversation over the same wire. To explain it to her, I'd compare it with radio broadcasting. The announcer's voice, I explain, is placed on a special frequency. Though his voice becomes mixed with many other voices, placed on different frequencies by other radio stations, she could separate it from the others when she tuned her radio. Similarly, when we make a long-distance call, telephone transmission equipment places our voice on a special frequency. It becomes mixed with other voices, placed on other frequencies as they travel across the nation. At the other end, telephone transmission equipment, also tuned to only one frequency, separates our voice from the others. It seems simple, but the equipment that makes this possible is pretty complex. Manufacturing this equipment is our job at Merrimack Valley. It takes many skills to maintain the high standard of the Bell system. For the engineers, this means constantly trying to develop better methods of manufacture. For others, it means operating a lathe or a drill press, winding coils, or using a multiple-head punch press to turn a variety of raw materials into a multitude of piece parts. For some, it means assembling these parts, along with parts purchased from hundreds of independent suppliers. And for still others, it means wiring or soldering the electrical network until each unit is complete. It gives you respect for people when you realize that each of them has learned to do his part of the job well. That everyone here is essential in this business of making telephone equipment. Ours is a team that works together and plays together. On the diamond or inside the plant, teamwork pays off again and again. Still, we keep looking for new ways to improve our product and production methods. That's the most challenging note in my job. I'm not one for making a big thing out of work anniversaries, but I have to admit, it's nice when someone remembers. 14 years, that's a long time. Long enough to know it was the right choice. Like the choice to go on living here in the valley. I have no regrets. I can't help wishing that Laurie and Don will make the same choices. Of course, they'll make their own decisions. Maybe I'm prejudiced, but after so many good years in one place, you can't really blame a man, can you?